His hand stopped on my ribs while bullets sliced the air above us. I should have pulled away, should have remembered that he was a cop buried too deep in a cartel's war. But instead I leaned closer, as if danger itself had rewired my instincts. Rafe's eyes locked on mine, not with authority, not with command, but with the raw desperation of a man who knew we might not see the sunrise. In that moment he wasn't a badge, wasn't an enemy, wasn't even a savior. He was just heat and breath, and a choice I never thought I'd make. "Survive tonight," he whispered, voice ragged, "and you'll never forget me." The sirens howled, boots thundered against the pavement, and yet all I felt was his thumb pressed against the frantic pulse at my throat. I thought the cartel was the threat. I thought the police were the cage, but the truth slammed into me harder than any gunfire. The most dangerous thing here was wanting him. I was locking the auto shop when a man called about an overheating SUV by the river lots. "Cash if you hurry," he said. I tossed wrenches in my canvas bag and drove where the lights buzzed and the water sounded like a secret. The SUV sat with hazards blinking, hood up, no one waited. I called out, heard a door scrape deeper in the row, and moved toward it when I should have left. Through a split in the siding, 4 men and a 5th tied to a chair with plastic cuffs, a pistol in a pacing man's hand. A folded map on a table, a cheap phone, a clear bag catching light too cleanly. "Last chance," the gunman said. "Where is it?" The tied guy kept his jaw tight, knee bouncing. He was my age, our eyes Metrover, dark, steady, and heat ran through me in the worst moment. My jacket scraped metal, heads turned. "Who's there?" I jerked back, dropped my bag, wrenches clanged. Boots hit concrete. I dove into the SUV and stabbed the ignition. Dead battery. A hand closed on my collar and hauled me out. "You lost, mechanic?" the gunman asked. The call had been bait. "I got a service call," I said. "I didn't see anything." "You'll see what I want," he said. "Fix the truck, then you leave. Talk and the river remembers." They dragged me inside. The tied guy watched me with a look that meant both daunt and please. The pacing man patted me down, took my keys and flashlight. "Name," the gunman said. "Ivin," he nodded, filed it away. "Fix it." Under the hood, a chewed clamp leaked sweet coolant. "Needs 5 minutes to cool," I said. "You have 3, he answered, spreading the map. He tapped a red mark, ferry yard, 2 a.m., if I don't hear by midnight. He told the tied guy, "Your friend with the camera," stops, breathing politely. The tied guy swallowed. "Understood." His eyes slid to the gun, the window, me. A younger man burst in with a duffel. "Plane. Closed near the pier," he said. 2, maybe 3. One looks connected. The gunman's smile didn't reach his eyes. "Then we move now." He lifted the pistol and pointed it at me. "You drive, he bleeds if you try anything." We moved as a unit, gunman in front, the kid with the duffel, the pacing man, the tied guy, me. They cut his cuffs like it was kindness. Up close I saw pale brackets on his wrists. As we reached the SUV, his shoulder brushed mine warmth through his shirt, a current under ice. He spoke so low I felt it. When we stopped, "Don't run, stay with me." I should distrusted him. I didn't. "Okay," I breathed. The engine caught. The gunman took shotgun, pistol on his thigh. The kid and the pacing man boxed the tied guy in the back. I pulled onto the road. The river kept pace like a rumor. A car slid in behind at a patient distance. The gunman saw it in the mirror. "Steady," he said. I kept hands at 10 and 2, palms slick. The trailing headlights crept closer. "If this is you," the gunman murmured, "the river takes 2. "It's not," I said, and believed it. "They'll pull us before the bridge," the tied guy said. "You hoping for that?" the kid asked. "Im hoping for air," he said, and let his hand touch my shoulder for a beat. "Im here." We hit the bridge. The following car paced us. The gunman's pistol rose, then settled. "Breathe," he told me. The siren wailed. He pointed right. I took the exit into a low lot behind stacked containers. The following car ghosted above us, circling. "Quick," the gunman said. "Switch." He meant me and the tied guy. The back door opened. Night pressed in. The tied guy slid out first, breath grazing my neck. "Name," he whispered. "In." "Rafe," he said, like he'd borrowed it. The pacing man raised cuffs. "Hands," he told me. "Don't," Rafe said fast. "He's the only one who knows the clamp. Keep him up front." The gunman hesitated, then nodded. "Fine, but sit pretty." His eyes pinned me. "Run and you drown." Rafe took the wheel and rolled us deeper between containers. A plain sedan turned into the far end, blue and red low. The sieve shuddered, the heat gauge climbed, steam feathered the hood. "It's going to blow," I said. "2 blocks," Rafe answered. "Then we stop." "Stop where?" the gunman barked. Rafe didn't answer him. He answered me with a look. There, a short pier jutted ahead. Rafe cut lights and engine mid. Roll, coasted under shade, stomped the brake. Silence hit like a door. "Everyone out," the gunman ordered. "Stay with me," Rafe whispered. I believed him. Night air tasted like pennies and rope. The siren rounded the corner, brighter now. The gunman grabbed my jacket and dragged me toward the pier's end, using me as a shield. A bullhorn started, hands where we can, and gunfire cracked, splinters jumped. Rafe caught my arm and pulled. I moved because I chose him. We ran. The sieve coughed white and hissed. The pier narrowed to dark and water. "Don't jump," Rafe said. "Not yet." "Who are you?" I asked. He glanced once, eyes river. "Dark, the reason you don't drown tonight." Another shot. The kid shouted. Doors thumped open. Rafe pressed me to a piling, his hand flat on my ribs, steadying my breath like a metronome. "On my move," he said. "Follow, no hero stuff. Why help me? Because you looked and didn't look away." He moved. I followed. Rafe guided me toward a thin maintenance ladder bolted to the far side, almost lost in shadow. He checked I was still with him. I didn't know what ID stepped intunely that a door had opened inside my life and refused to close. The ladder sweated river salt. Rafe went first, steady, checking that I still breathed. We dropped to a narrow shelf under the pier. Boots hammered above a bullhorn, argued with the water. He raised a finger, close enough that I felt his warmth. Behind me, no noise, jurisdiction will slow them. "Who are they?" "Everyone," he said. He worked a flat key into a maintenance hatch. The lock side, we slipped into a tunnel that tasted like iron. Our footfalls rang and died. He moved like a man who knew which camera was broken. We surfaced inside a pump house that pretended to be abandoned. He checked the roofline, alley, river seam, then led me to a door the wall had tried to hide. Another key, another sigh. Inside, concrete, steel table, no photos. A coffee maker stood like a sentinel. "You hurt?" he asked. "Just my hands." He washed them under a tin sink, his sleeve brushing my wrist and pausing a beat too long. He wrapped my knuckles with gauze like he was proofreading them. "You'll keep these," he said. "So you remember the line you crossed to stay alive. Is there a right way to cross it? There is when a worse man holds a gun." He poured coffee. I didn't drink. He watched me like he was measuring how much night I could swallow. "Who set the trap?" I asked. "The cartel fishes with bait that looks like work," he said. "Tonight you took the hook. I cut the line. You in them. Im near them," he said. Silence did the rest. "If someone asks," you ran. "You never saw me. You don't know my name. I don't want trouble. You're already holding it." He set a prepaid phone and a folded card on the table. The card held an address and 2 words, "Ask for Leela." "What's this?" "Directions out of the river," he said. "If you follow them." "Why help me?" His mouth tipped like a decision hurt. "Because you looked at the man in the chair and didn't sell him with your eyes. Because I'm tired of the river keeping the good ones. You think him good. I think you're not them." Sirens swelled nearer. The building shifted like an animal in sleep. He checked his watch. "We have 5 minutes before someone smart asks where this tunnel goes. What happens then?" "Then I move you. Then I vanish. And you," he met my eyes. "I stay in the fire until it rains." He stepped closer. He wasn't touching me, and I felt him like a hand on my ribs measuring breath. "Clean soap, metal. Even," he said. "If I say floor, you fall first. If I say run, you run when I run. If I say lie, pick a lie that can live in your throat. Okay." He opened a locker, handed me a jacket that smelled like a different city. He pressed the burner into my palm. "If it rings, answer with your first wrong name." "What's my wrong name?" "Mark." We walked out as if we had a clipboard and a deadline. 2 officers argued with a man in a vest about perimeters. Rafe nodded the way men nod when they're supposed to be somewhere else. At the alley mouth, a cat kicked a bottle. I flinched. His fingers found the back of my neck, small and sure. "Breathe," he said. Footsteps that apologize get chased. We reached a dented sedan that didn't cost enough to be noticed. He tossed me keys. "Drive, don't improvise. Am not a musician. You are tonight." He threaded us through streets like sentences with missing words. The city thinned, then clenched. We stopped at a lit laundromat where steam kissed the windows. Inside, he said, "Tell the woman you're Mark and you have a package from Rafe. Shall give you a bag and errands that aren't errands. Follow exactly, and you'll hear if you fall, be far enough to deny you. Will I see you again, if we're lucky, he said. The bell chimed as I entered. The woman behind the counter had eyes like years that kept going. Yes, Mark, I have a package from Rafe. She took the name like a coin and nodded to a shelf. Then you're late. Take the blue bag, walk, don't run, count to 30 at curbs. If a car idles twice, go into a store you've never been in. What's in the bag? What keeps you from becoming a headline, she said. I turned back. Rafe was gone, or had become the kind of shadow that listens. I did as told. 30 beats per curb. No running. In dark windows I saw myself carrying a life that didn't fit, and a blue bag that did. Sometimes I saw another shape-ishant river, dark. Whether it was him or my fear learning to walk, I couldn't tell. The prepaid buzzed. I answered, Mark. His voice found me like a hand on my shoulder. Left in 20 steps. Bus stop. Don't sit. You watching me. Watching the world around you. What happens when the errands end? You start again, he said, until I burn the map with your name. I followed the bag to a brass, numbered door. A peephole blinked. When I knocked, a hand took the bag and returned a key, a second phone, and a note. Trust quiet. Who are you? I asked the crack. A friend of a friend, the door said and shut. The key was warm. The hallway held its breath. A siren tugged at the night's edge. I opened the room and stood in air that smelled like clean sheets and instructions. I didn't undress. I sat on the bed with my shoes on and the burner beside me like a trapped moth. I told myself I would sleep. I didn't. The room said nothing. I listened for the voice that had threaded me through the dark and admitted the truth. I was moving because he told me how, and because something in me believed him. That scared me more than the cartel. Sleep came in pieces. At dawn, the burner buzzed once. Put on the jacket. Leave the key. Diner with a neon fork. Last booth. Coffee. No food. It read like him. The neon fork blinked. I took the last booth. Coffee tasted like metal. He arrived quiet cap, cheap glasses, posture that made him background until the room corrected itself. Morning, he said to the table. Under the formica, his shin touched mine for a beat, a current that rearranged me. You okay? He murmured. I don't know yet. Honest works. He watched the door, the mirror, the bell. You've got 2 shadows, he said. One wears a badge one wears last night. Cartel, maybe. The waitress topped my cup. His fingers brushed mine. Heat climbed my wrist like a secret. He didn't pull away fast. He didn't make a show of it. You shouldn't be here, I said. Here because you are. He answered just a line that changed the room. A delivery guy shouldered through with bread. Rafe's eyes went to the back hall. Second bell, kitchen. If the tall man stands, you go first. The bell rang twice. We slid out. The back hall smelled like lemons. The alley grabbed us. A sedan idled at the mouth. The tall man turned his head the amount a predator turns to say hello. We chose another door, a cooler in the next unit. Rafe pulled me in. Cold slapped. We squeezed between shelves. He left the door almost closed. Footsteps clapped past. His breath arrived first, warm in the cold. Steady, he whispered, we're a roomer today. His hand found the shelf behind my hip. His knuckles brushed my jacket and stopped, anchoring. I let my shoulder touch his. The contact felt like a door no one should open, but both of us knew the code. Last night you said pick a lie that can live in my throat, I breathed. I remember. My lie is that I can go back to how it was, that one dies quickly. What's yours? That I can keep you out while using you to stay alive, he said. I don't want it to be true. Heat moved through the cold like a slow flare. His palm landed at my rib's careful weight, counting breath. My pulse answered like it had studied him. The handle twitched, the light narrowed. We didn't move. The handle released, footsteps left. He waited longer than my nerves could do math. Then he cracked the door, and we slid into a hallway, humming with compressors. Stairs up. A roof with a view that makes people decide things. Wind pushed at our jackets. Below, the sedan circled. We stood close enough that if the wind took me, it would take him too. I can't promise anything without risk, he said. But I won't use you as a tool. You already did, I said, tired more than angry. I used your proximity, he said, not your trust. That part I'm trying to earn. How? By showing up and not looking away, he said. By saying things I shouldn't say here. Say one. I wanted to pull you out of that chair before I knew your name. I stepped an inch closer. Our arms touched from shoulder to wrist. The contact was simple, and it undid men. Its ID called preference rearranged into admission. He didn't step back. His jaw worked once, like a man stopping a prayer he doesn't believe in. Down, he said, and we crouched as two figures scanned the roofline. When they looked away, we eased to the hatch. His hand covered mine on the latch, warm over cold metal, saying without words, "With me." We threaded the stairs, ground floor, a glass door. He studied our reflection like a second language. "We separate at the corner," he said. "Same block, different shadows. Meet at the blue mural. If someone follows you in, you're early and am late, and if we make it." "Then I tell you something else I shouldn't." "What?" "Later," he said, "we stepped into the street. I walked my line." He walked his. At the blue mural the phone buzzed twice. "I didn't need to read to see it," said. "I'm here." Under paint, I felt the day choose sides. The mural's paint flaked like old skin. I leaned against it, pretending to check my phone. Rafe approached from the far end, blending into foot traffic until he didn't. He stopped beside me like we were strangers waiting on a late bus. "You were followed," he said without turning. "By who?" "Both sides. Badge first, cartel second. Then what's left?" "Me," he said, and the word carried a weight I wasn't ready to hold. We crossed the street and slipped into a stairwell that smelled like rust. He climbed 2 steps at a time, opened a door to a vacant floor above a shuttered tailor. Dust filtered the light. He checked windows, vents, his shoulders taut as rope. "They think you're leverage," he said. "Cartel wants to break me with you. Police want to bait the cartel with you. And you, I want you breathing tomorrow," he said. "Why, am no one, you're not no one." His eyes fixed on me too direct. That's the problem. The room shrank. I wanted to ask if I was a weakness or a choice. He gave the answer first. "You shouldn't matter," he said, "but you do." It landed like a confession he hated himself for. The burner buzzed. He snapped it open, a coded text. His jaw nodded. "They know where we are," he said. "Who?" "Both." The air cracked with shouts below. Boots, doors, someone pounding the tailor's front. He pushed me toward the back stairwell. We split. "No," I said. "They'll tear this place. If we're caught together it ends. Apart you can still be a ghost. I don't want to be a ghost. If..." He stopped, breath sharp. He pressed me against the wall, his hand on my chest like a guardrail. "You don't get to choose the war I'm in. I didn't ask for it. Neither did I." His voice cracked. "It wasn't anger, it was something more broken. But I can't drag you under with me." The stairwell rattled with a ram battering the front. He leaned close, so close his breath lit my jaw. For a second the world blurred. Police, cartel, walls didn't matter. Just him and the space between us that begged to collapse. I whispered, "Then why save me?" His hand trembled where it held me. "Because the moment you looked at me, I remembered I was still human." The battering stopped. Silence, sharper than noise. "Go," he said, shoving a key into my palm. "Unit 3, River Flats. Wait till night. Don't open unless it's me. And you, ill draw them. No." He cut me off with a look that burned worse than a goodbye. He pressed his forehead against mine for half a heartbeat. Stealing air like it was the last thing left. Then he was gone, down the stairwell, into voices shouting commands. I stood frozen, key digging into my hand, ribs aching where his palm had been. Through a crack I saw him step into view, hands half raised, mouth moving fast. Police yelled. Cartel shadows moved outside. A shot broke the air, screams layered over orders. I ran. I didn't look back. Couldn't. My chest carried the ghost of his touch, and the question that would never quiet, was that shot his? The river flats smelled of rust and mildew. Unit 3 was a cinder, block cube with peeling paint and a door that didn't belong to any lease. I slipped inside, closed the lock, and pressed my back against the wall. The silence was so heavy it sounded like waiting. I replayed the sound of the shot until it became a question that clawed my ribs. Was he alive, or had I lost him before I knew what he truly was? The key in my palm felt like a promise I didn't deserve. I sat through hours that bent time. Sirens flared, died. The city pulsed beyond the thin curtains. Every scrape in the hallway was Himmer men coming to erase me. I clutched the burner, half wanting it to ring, half praying it never would. Near midnight the lock turned. I froze. The door opened slow. A figure slipped in, closed it soft, leaned on the wall like gravity fought him. Rafe, his face was drawn, jaw bruised, shirt streaked with dirt, but he was standing, breathing. His eyes found me the way water finds a break in stone. You stayed, he said. You told me to. He crossed the room in 2 unsteady steps. I caught him before he collapsed. His weight folded into warmth, sweat, tremor. He gripped my shoulder. Not hurt bad, he muttered. Just close, I helped him onto the mattress that pretended to be a bed. His breath hissed through clenched teeth as he pulled his shirt off. A graze along his side, dark and sticky. I cleaned it with shaking hands, pressed cloth, wrapped him in gauze ID found in a drawer. You shouldn't, he whispered. Shouldn't what? Care? Too late, I said. He shut his eyes, jaw tight, as if those words were harder to take than the bullet. We sat in silence. The only sound was his breath, slow and stubborn. My hand lingered on the bandage longer than it should. He didn't move it away. They think you're mine, he said finally. Cartel, Copsbuth, that makes you target and shield. Am not yours. He looked at me then, a glance that stripped the lie bare. Not yet, he said. The air changed, heavy, electric. His hand rose, slow, cautious, until it touched the side of my neck. His thumb pressed against the racing pulse head caused. He leaned in, but stopped just short, giving me the chance to step back. I didn't. His forehead rested against mine, breath to breath. This is the worst time, he whispered. Maybe the only time, I whispered back. A crash outside shattered it, boots on gravel, voices low and sharp. Rafe's eyes snapped open. He pushed away, every trace of softness gone. He grabbed the pistol hidden under his jacket, checked the magazine. They found us, he said. Cartel, both. He peered through the curtain slit. Unmarked car, 2 men, and across the street badges waiting to see who I meet. They want me caught between. What do we do? He turned, eyes steady. We run. But this time you run with me, no splitting. Why? Because if they take me, they break you, and if they take you, I burn everything. We moved fast, out the back stairwell, through rusted doors into night air thick with damp. We ran alley to alley, breath sharp, bodies close. Behind us, shouts, engines starting. Ahead, the river, black and endless. At the edge, Rafe grabbed my arm, pulled me against him in the shadows. Listen, I have 1 card left. A contact who owes me, but once we knock, we're chained to whatever side answers. Do we have a choice? He looked at me, jaw tight. Then softer, we always have choice. His hand tightened on my arm. Do you trust me? I thought of the shot, the bruise, the weight of him collapsing into me. I thought of the warmth in the cold storage, the touch at my neck. Yes, I said. He searched my eyes, maybe for a lie. Then nodded once, then we gamble. We slipped into a warehouse district, broken windows watching like eyes. Rafe rapped a coded knock on a metal door. It opened a crack. A scarred man squinted out, then let us in without a word. Inside smelled of oil and secrets. Weapons lay on tables, maps pinned to walls. The man shut the door and bolted it. You're late, he told Rafe, and you brought trouble. Rafe glanced at me, then back. He's with me. The man's eyes narrowed. Then you've signed both your deaths. Rafe didn't flinch. He stepped closer, shoulders squared, but his hand brushed mine for just a second light, deliberate, the only reassurance I had left. The warehouse swallowed sound. Every corner smelled like gun oil and old sweat. Every table a map of war. Rafe's contact, broad shoulders, face carved into suspicion, paced like he measured our worth by how quiet we breathed. You shouldn't be here, the man said. Rafe leaned on the table, hiding the wince in his ribs. I didn't have a choice. You always have a choice, the man answered. His eyes slid to me, but now you bring weight. He's not weight, Rafe said. He's witness to what? To everything, the man snorted. Cartel hunts you. Police bleed for you. And you stand here telling me this stranger is part of the balance. Rafe's jaw tightened. He's not stranger, the man stared, then laughed dry, shaking his head. So that's the story. That's how they'll break you. Not bullets, not chains him. I should have denied it. Said I was nothing. Instead I stepped closer to Rafe, the distance gone like it had never mattered. Am not leaving him, I said. Rafe's hand twitched, as if to push me back, then didn't. The contact saw it. His laugh turned sharp. God help you both. Before more could be said, the wall rattled. Tires screeched outside. Voices shouted in 2 language, Scartel and command. The contact snapped a rifle from the rack. They are here. Rafe pulled his pistol, motioned me low. My heart hammered as shadows passed the windows, then broke inside with thunder. Glass sprayed, wood cracked. The warehouse erupted in chaos. I crawled under a table, metal biting my knees. Shots cracked, screams bled into concrete. Rafe fired twice, then ducked beside me, dragging me up. His hand clamped the back of my neck. Move, we ran through smoke and shouting, weaving between crates. Bullets punched the walls. Someone yelled his name. We reached a stairwell. He shoved me ahead, covered the climb. A shot grazed the railing near his hand. He didn't flinch. At the top, we burst onto the roof. Night air cut cold. Below, cartel trucks and police cars boxed the building. Lights flared, sirens wailed. Both sides aimed at each other and at us. Rafe pulled me close, chest to chest, pistol shaking in his blood-slick hand. His eyes were wild raw. "This is it," he said. "No," I said, voice breaking. "It can't, it already is." He pressed his forehead to mine, breath ragged. "I dragged you here. I can't drag you further. You think I'd rather be anywhere else." His laugh cracked half despair. "You should hate me," I daunt. The rooftop pulsed with floodlights, voices ordering surrender. His hand cupped my face, thumb brushing the corner of my mouth like he couldn't stop himself. "Then understand, I can't let them take you." "What does that mean?" "It means if they rush us, I make a choice, and you won't forgive it." Sirens rose. Boots thundered the stairs below. Time shredded. I gripped his shirt, pulled him closer. Our lips almost met, heat sparking in the chaos, the promise of something we couldn't name. But before it crossed, the rooftop door exploded open. Figures poured out, guns leveled. Cartel and badges at once, screaming over each other. The contact's rifle barked somewhere behind. Rafe tore from me, aimed his pistol at the ground, and fired a warning shot. Everyone froze for a heartbeat. He shouted, voice breaking through, "He's not part of this. You want me, you take me." "No." I grabbed his arm, but he shook free. The barrel of a rifle swung toward me. Rafe stepped in front, arms wide. Don't touch him. The floodlights burned. Voices clashed. For 1 second the whole city held its breath. Then a shot rang, louder than all the rest. I didn't see where it came from. I only saw Rafe's body jolt, his eyes locking on mine, wide and unbroken even as he fell to his knees. I caught him before he hit the roof. His blood warmed my hands. Sirens swallowed everything. Orders blurred. Don't I choked. He gripped my shirt, dragging me close with strength that shouldn't have been left. His lips brushed my ear. And if you live, remember me as choice, not cage." Then his weight sagged. His eyes closed. Shouts, boots, rifles all drowned in the roar inside me. I screamed his name, but it was torn from my throat by floodlights and hands pulling us apart. They dragged me from the rooftop, wrists burning in plastic cuffs. Voices clashed cartel curses, police orders, but none of it mattered. All I saw was the smear of blood where Rafe had fallen. They shoved me into the back of a cruiser. Through the glass I searched for him, but the lights blinded, the body swarmed, and the night refused to give him back. An officer leaned in. "Name?" I swallowed the lie head given me. "Mark." The officer scribbled it down, unconvinced. Doors slammed, engines roared. The convoy split, half chasing shadows, half taking me somewhere I didn't choose. My hands shook, but not from fear because his touch still lived there. The press of his forehead against mine, the whisper that I was choice, not cage. I held it like oxygen. Out the window, dawn cracked pale. For a second I imagined him walking free, fading into the city like smoke. Maybe he lived, maybe he didn't. The truth would haunt me either way. The cruiser turned, siren cutting. I closed my eyes and felt his breath at my neck. The warmth that shouldn't have been possible in a world like this. Whatever waited, I knew one thing. I had already chosen him, and whether he was ghost or flesh, that choice would follow me into every shadow.